Welcome to Surfside Stories. Today here at the 843 studio, I am so proud to have a young man from Raleigh, North Carolina. He works with East Coast Entertainment, a managing partner, I think, as something of that nature. But that's not the real talent. If you haven't heard this man sing, you are in for a treat. I heard him last night. Of course, I knew he was already lead singer with the group, which we'll talk about. But I heard him live last night for the first time, and he brought the house down. Some really great numbers. Now, by the way, Barry Herndon, by the way, is my man here. But we know who you are now. I know who you are now.
Well, thank you.
But I had no clue how you got into the business, when you sang your first song, played your first instrument, how you got into music, how you got into East Coast, because you've been there, 30 years or more?
30 years.
Yes.
30 years in June.
Let's start back. First time you ever sang a song in public or whatever instrument you want to pick, you take the story and you run with it, brother.
Right. So the first song I ever sang in public was Lean on Me in church when I was 9 years old. And I'll never forget, my knees were knocking. You could hear my knees knocking in the church. I was so nervous. And, I come from musical family. My mom was a great singer. And so all through junior high, we used to call it junior high. Then they call it middle school now.
Yeah.
And so all through junior high, I was playing in bands. Started playing in bands. I'm a drummer. I'm originally a drummer.
Okay.
And started playing in bands when I was 13 or 14. But before that, we won a talent show in the sixth grade in elementary school. Me and some guys in elementary school in the sixth grade won a talent show.
Okay.
And we did Let the Sun Shine In by the Fifth Dimension.
I remember that song.
Yeah. And so that just got me. It went in my whistle for to get
got
things
the fire
going.
burning.
It did, got the fire burning. And then all through high school, I played in and out of bands. And then when I got to East Carolina in 77, tell them age now.
Yeah, I understand.
I got in a punk band.
Really?
That's when the punk scene was coming on really, really hard. And
I don't see you there, but I want to hear this story.
Well, the name of the band was Extra Extra, XTRA, XTRA, and I've got a picture of that band. So I played in a punk band, but I always was really a blue-eyed soul singer. That's really what I was, and that's my background.
Okay.
And so when I got out of school, I worked for a couple of years. I was miserable. I knew I wanted to do music for a living.
Yeah.
And so in 1984, we started Cream of Soul, which for 16 years in the Carolinas, we played full time for 12 years. And we were a blue-eyed soul band.
Yeah.
We were white guys playing Motown.
Okay.
And there wasn't a lot of that.
Not yet.
At that time. And my partner in the band, Blake Addison, he and I we melt together with our voices. Our voices were butter. Mm-hmm. And we started out as a blue-eyed soul band, and we eventually morphed into more of a funk, dance, rock band, which, in the late 80s, early 90s, that started getting on the private party circuit really popular.
Yeah, okay.
And we had everything we did had to be danceable. And so we didn't play beach music. We didn't play beach music back then. We were too cool for that.
Now, you still playing the drums at this point and doing vocals?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. Andy Swindell and I, who was in the Amber, we got a duo.
No, Andy
He's playing keys and I'm playing drums. He's playing key, bass, keys. I'm playing drums. But anyway, we did we did that from 84 to right at the end. It was 84 to the end of 96. So in 1989, I met Ed Duncan at East Coast Entertainment. He came down to Myrtle Beach, as a matter of fact. We were playing the Holiday Inn North, and he came down to chase us, to sign us.
Uh-huh.
And back then, that's what agents did.
Yeah.
There was no cell phones. There was no, anything like that. So he came down, and he's like, "Hey, man, do you mind if I crash in your room for a couple of nights?" Well, I didn't know Ed from Adam. And so... And back then, it was fine. Yeah, we had two beds, crash in my room. And I got up the next day, and I was talking on the phone with a legend in the club circuit. This guy's named Johnny Walters.
Oh, I heard of Johnny.
Johnny had clubs in Charlotte. He had clubs in Durham. He had clubs in Raleigh. And we were from Durham. and he had a club called Bananas that we played at all the time. And I was booking some dates with Johnny. And Ed heard me talking to him, and I hung up the phone. He goes, "Who was that?" And I told him. He goes, "If you ever decide to get off the road, you got a job." And that was in 1989. And then in 96, I was getting kind of burned out. We had put out an original album in 95. Cream of Soul did. It did okay. It didn't burn any forest down, anything like that.
Those original songs that y'all
they were
written
all original.
on
It was 11 of them on there. I can get you a copy of it.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so actually the guys in the K's at that time, the Fabulous K's, put the horn section together. Mark Black was in charge of the horn section for that album. But so anyway, I got out of the band in December 96, and in January 97, Ed and I opened up East Coast Raleigh. So I worked there for 2 years by myself. Ed was still in Charlotte. We opened up the Raleigh office. No accounts, no anything. He gave me a phone book and a pat on the butt. He said, "You need to make 50 to 75 cold calls a day." And that's what I did. And then in 99, Dink Perry actually came and worked with me for 2 years in Raleigh. Dink and I worked together for 2 years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but the Breeze was playing full time at that time. And I, I'm sure you saw that band in their heyday. That's probably one of the best bands ever, in my opinion. And so really the rest is history. And I've been there. I was fortunate enough to get into partnership in 2015. And so I've been riding it out for close to 30 years in June. So that, that's kind of my story. And what's kind of interesting is people don't know this, but in 99, I was the lead. I was first, well, not the original, but they had a guy like 3 or 4 months before me, but a real big regional band called Sleeping Booty, which is, at the time we were a 12-piece disco band. It was a total 70s disco band. I was the lead singer in that band from 99 to 2007.
Oh, okay.
I helped them get it off the ground. Yeah. And then in 2000, right around 3 or 4, I started my own little band, Barry Herndon and the Party Nuts. Okay. And that was a 4-piece moneymaker. That was a real moneymaker. So we did the Party Nuts till 2017. And I got.
But if you got that 4-piece band, how did you pick the people? What instruments did you have, and what were you? What genre were you playing?
We were like a Too Much Sylvia. We were bass, guitar, drums, and keyboards. 4-piece, basic 4-piece. We were a variety party band. We were in that East Coast entertainment circuit, playing high-end weddings and private parties and stuff like that. We played some clubs. We had some success in some local clubs.
So how much traveling were you doing at that time?
Well, we went a 3-state area, really, Virginia, North and South Carolina. And you got to remember, I was working full time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And we were playing 80 to 90 dates a year, and I was working full time, and I had 2 small kids at home. So that was a rough period. It was, it
busy.
Busy. Too busy. So what ended up happening, in a nutshell, I kind of got burned out because I had two kids at home, and was gone every weekend. And on most Sundays, I was a zombie, because I was playing Friday and Saturday night out till 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning sometime. And then in 17, we shut down the Party Nuts. And then I've been kind of sort of freelancing in a way. We had a band in Raleigh called Smile, for about 14 years. It started in 2010. So there was Party Nuts and Smile. And that was.
So they crossed over, the two of them?
Sort of. Smile really was yacht rock before yacht rock got famous.
Yeah.
We were doing all those one-hit wonders from the 70s, all the AM one-hit wonders. It was a great band. Really good band. I mean, maybe one of the best bands I've been in. But so since basically 2018, 19, I've just kind of been doing my own, just kind of whatever comes along. If the opportunity's something I'm interested in, I'm blessed the fact that I can make choices with what I do musically.
Well, you've got the contacts, I think, here. Let's talk about how you got into this Booger Brothers. I want to hear that story.
Well,
Now I want to hear a story about the name you came up with.
Yeah.
How did you get, not the Booger Brothers, the first one.
So in like 2018 or 19, Doug and I had always been, Doug Manning and I had always been friends because he had Punch, which was one of our big bands out of the Raleigh office. And they started that band in 2014, about 18 or 19, might have been 19. I approached him. I said, I got this idea. He had ironically thought about approaching me. So it was the synergy was perfect.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to do a bunch of obscure beat songs. And he had just started Chasing Dream Studio, his studio in his house. He had just set it up.
I was fortunate enough to get to see that one last December, I guess.
Yeah. And I said, I want to call it Hot Snot and the Sugar Boogers. And he said,
you were Hot Snot.
I was going to be Hot Snot. And he thought it was perfect idea. Long story short, I took my drums over to his house, set them up. We played around a little bit, and we kind of got in a little low period, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And we know what happened when COVID hit.
Oh, yes.
So
a lot of good songs got lost.
A lot of things got lost. And, I'm, to be honest with you, East Coast Entertainment at that time, which was a 45-year-old business, we didn't know if we were going to make it or not. It hit us that hard. So anyway, they got kind of put on the back burner. Well, ironically, last year at the Band of Oz reunion, Doug was here and he ran into Jim and Randy with the Saints.
Yeah.
And I had just, I had been playing with those guys a couple of years off and on. I ran into them the first time about 7 or 8 years ago at a wedding, the Mighty Saints of Soul. And I'm like, where have they been all my life? These guys is a 4-piece and just first class pros. And it was like, holy moly, they were good. And it got up with them that first night that I saw them. And then we've got a place at Atlantic Beach. So anytime they come to Memories, I'd get up and play with them.
Okay.
And,
but they don't do tracks. They do everything live. Is that right?
Those guys,
when you hear those, everything's live.
That's, to me, one of the best rhythm sections out there. Yeah. Those guys are real pros. They're, of course, original members of the Avengers that morphed into the Band of Oz.
Yeah, right.
Yada, yada. But anyway, so I met those guys and we've been talking about doing some work together. And I never was really officially invited to join them, which I would have maybe done, but I didn't want to go out and start playing 30 to 35 dates again. I just didn't want to. I was enjoying my time off and having my weekends with my family.
Okay.
And so they approached Doug at the Band of Oz reunion last year and said, hey, why don't you and Barry invite us to join your band and let's do some work together?
Okay.
Okay. Done. So what's ironic was that my wife hated that name, Hot Snot and the Sugar Booger. She thought it was a thing. And every time I say it to somebody, they laugh.
Oh, yeah.
So see, it's already getting your attention. It's already getting, it's going to get attention. So Doug came up with In Her Own Way. He found that on this old Northern Soul website where I understand a lot of DJs go to get their music, the obscure music.
Yeah.
Prince Philip Mitchell. I think that song came out in like 72, 73. Yeah. He sent it to me. He said, this is you. This is perfect.
Well, I got to tell you, Doug and I have had this conversation, maybe belong to you. He swears that song was written about Susie. And I swear it was written about my girlfriend, Debbie.
My wife said it was written about her.
That's what I was going to ask.
She said, did you write that song for me? I said, no. But anyway.
Now, who was the group that did it In Her Own Way? Who did it originally?
Prince Philip Mitchell is the
And they're
guy.
out of...
It's a solo guy. I don't know where he's from. I don't know anything about him.
Sounds like a Canadian name.
Well, here's the weird thing about that song. I couldn't find anything on iTunes, Spotify. I couldn't find the song anywhere. The only place I found it, this is how obscure it was on YouTube. Yeah. And then, these days you can almost find any lyrics on the internet. I couldn't find the lyrics anywhere.
Oh, really?
And some of those lyrics that we had to break down and decipher the old way, where you got a CD and you're playing it and you stop and you go, wait a minute, now what did he say? So some of those words weren't easy to to translate.
Now, who sent you this song to begin with?
Doug.
Doug did. Okay.
Doug did. He said, this is the first one we're going to do. And so, ironically, he had kind of done a scratch track in his studio to get us going.
Okay. Yeah.
I came in and did a scratch vocal. Well, guess what the scratch vocal is? That's the one you're hearing.
Oh, really?
I didn't even get to sing it again.
Really?
Yeah. The vocal on that song is a scratch vocal. Because when we got through with laying down the rhythm tracks, I'm like, well, are you going to let me sing the vocals again? He said, He said, no, you nailed it. So that song really, now it's some bits and pieces of things, but it's pretty much the scratch vocal. It wasn't even, I didn't think it was the final track. So we were sitting around that afternoon, funny, with Randy and those guys, and like, Randy said, it's not in the Sugar Brothers. I'm not sure we could name a band like that name. And we started laughing. So
you got to laugh at that. You got to.
And so eventually it morphed into, we talked about the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
We brought it, which probably one of my all-time favorite bands. I'm a huge Doobie fan.
Yes.
Doobie fan. And by the end of the day, somebody came up with the Booga Brothers. And I've heard it say Booga Brothers, but it's Booga.
Yeah.
And that's how the name came about. And it's been so much fun. Of course, we got this other song that's coming along, Love, Love, Love.
Yep.
Which that's a Donny Hathaway song, by the way.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Okay.
Well, I'm not Donny Hathaway. That wasn't an easy one to sing. He's one of the best. With it. To me, he's one of the best soul singers ever.
Yeah.
He truly is, But so this project has just been, it's been a blast, man. I've met so many people since May of last year, including people like you getting involved with this thing. And it's been like, man, where's this been all my life? I've been coming to SOS for 20 years.
Yeah.
Because we got a golf group, guys from college, and one of the guys got a condo down here, and we've been coming to Spring SOS for 20 years. And I started really grasping the music and getting into it. And so I've just never been involved in this end of it this much. And the beauty of it down here, which is the heart of it, obviously, in North Myrtle Beach, is that people truly, truly listen to what you're doing, and they truly, truly appreciate it. They appreciate these artists down here. And it's like, man, why haven't I been doing this for 40 years? Why hadn't I been in this circuit? Because we were always in a party dance band. Yeah. That's what I was always in, party dance bands. So man, I've really embraced the beach music community, the music.
It's a family.
It's unbelievable. Everybody's been so gracious. So nice.
I got one question I like to ask everybody. What is beach music? There is no right or wrong answer either.
It's really, it came from Blue-Eyed Soul. It came out of Motown in a way. It came out of the black artists from the 60s.
Okay.
Pretty much is in 50s and 60s is where it morphed from. More really the true shaggers, what I know are really into more the real shuffle rhythm and blues stuff, the obscure shuffle rhythm and blues that black artists used to play.
Okay.
But every beach band, most beach band that I've ever run across, which we booked thousands of them over the years, all of them are so talented, man. It's amazing vocally and musically how good these bands are.
What amazes me is the number of intertwines of people from band to band are moving here, and different ones going to this band, then ended up here, and you starting out with this guy here, and next thing you know, you're together over here. I mean, it's amazing.
It is. It's a tight-knit family. There's no question. And I think, honestly, from what I know so far, I might be a little naive. Doug calls me a rookie. I'm a beach music
I
rookie.
heard that term. Yeah. But I heard him use that.
But everybody genuinely likes everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's no animosity between these players down in this circuit, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I love it. Even working like I am with Ocean Drive Productions, we all support each other.
Right.
Every once in a
Well, it
while,
ought to be.
yeah, I'll go out to lunch. I'll go out with you. I'll go out with Gary Lauder. And we take pictures to let everybody know that we're supporting each
That's
other.
right.
And we want to make sure that people understand that. And I got to tell you this. From my conversation with you, I know you're a bit humble. So, but I only know 2 people that have gone in the studio, laid one track, and walked out, and that was the one they used. And you know who the other one is besides you?
Who's that?
Jackie Gore.
Yeah,
So that puts you.
No. You're not putting me in that. No, not even close. But it was kind of a surprise to me because I was like ready to do another track. He's like, "Oh no, we're using that one." He said, "You're not going to sing it any better than that." And I don't think a lot of people know that was pretty much a scratch track. You know,
I would never know if you hadn't told me.
I mean, you know, so it just fell right into my range. It fell right into my soul. It really, I sang that song from the soul.
Yeah.
And like I say, it is about my wife. Now, I don't know if it's about your girlfriend or whoever it's about.
Trust me, it is.
but it's just been amazing the way it's taken off. I mean, we ain't even played a live show yet. And we want to do that. I want to do that. We'll just see what happens.
Well, you know anybody that might book bands, perhaps?
Yeah, I think they get us booked. But yeah, even if we played a set and opened for somebody somewhere, if we, you know.
Well, you did it last night with the guys up there, and of course, Doug wasn't up there with you, but you know, other than that, 4 of the 5 Booker brothers are up there, right?
3 of the 5.
3 of the
5. 4 with me. Yeah, exactly. Except for Doug. Learn how to count, Barry. That's
and Doug was standing right there with me.
Durham County Schools, right there. No, yeah, he was down front, but that would have been, but it didn't happen. But regardless, it was fun. It was a good time. Got to do some Doobie Brothers. We did listen to the music.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was my first concert, by the way, in 1974, Greensboro Coliseum.
Really?
I was 15, Doobie Brothers.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So.
Well, my first, I heard Mel Carter sing Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me.
Oh,
and that was in 1965.
That's
August of 65.
That's amazing.
And I heard the guys. Now, I never will forget that. He and Tom Jones were there together.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it's amazing. I love what you did last night. The variety of songs that you did. And I'm telling you this, I'm going to speak very openly. You got a great range, but what you do with your voice and the different songs, how you project the song is, to me, is amazing. It's amazing. I wish I could get on stage and do what you do.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm really a drummer at heart, but
that's where you started.
So in Cream of Soul, I started out as a drummer, lead singer. I was drummer, lead singer, kind of a Don Henley type thing.
Gotcha.
And who's, by the way, one of my heroes. I love Don Henley, one of the best drummer singers ever.
Eagles are my number 1 band.
Yeah,
but close behind are the Doobie Brothers, and behind that Chicago.
Well, we're on the same page with all 3 of those. But so in 89 or 90, they kept saying, we need to put you out front. We need to hire a drummer and put you out front. I'm like, I'm not a front man. And so we ended up doing that. And it did take the band to another level because of the entertainment factor that it brought with having a focal guy, the focal front guy up front.
Yeah. Okay.
So rest was history with that.
How did it feel moving from the drums out front?
A little naked at first, because you used to hide behind the drum kit.
Yeah.
Even though I play a basic 4-piece setup, low cymbals where you can see me and all that sort of thing as a singer.
Yeah.
And it's with the Party Nuts, I sang everything. I was singing 50, 60 songs a night. We didn't have another lead vocalist.
So you were singing and doing the drums for the Party Nuts. Okay.
Yes. It about killed me. I mean, in doing all the road work and all that stuff too, but we didn't have any real vibe. We had good backup singers.
Yeah.
In fact, I made our old keyboard player made him into a backup singer.
Oh, okay.
But I sang all the lead, and I was blessed that really my voice, it held up during all those times. And I think I
can't imagine doing 40, 50 songs in a night.
And then I had to load out and playing drums. Playing drums is a physical. It's a physical thing. I miss playing in that realm of things because Andy and I with the duo, we're more of a corner. You set us up a corner, and
Yeah.
we'd been good at Doug's house,
Yeah.
at his
Yeah.
Christmas party.
Yeah,
But,
I missed you down there.
yeah,
I was looking forward to that.
I hate it.
You didn't make it, but I did.
No, that was our end of year board meeting. I had to be at, but
Well, we'll do it again next Christmas.
I hope so. I hope so. But so yeah, I've always basically I fronted Smile. I started as a drummer with Smile, and then we did the same thing. Hired another drummer, put me out front, Smile. So
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah, I think I need to stay out front though.
Well, and I think that's why you're doing the lead on In Her Own Way.
Yeah, so. Yeah. It's man. There's a lot to be said, really, about smiling, acting like you're having fun, and entertaining people, and making people feel a part of it. Yeah. Instead of you playing at them,
yeah,
you're playing with them. And that I think that gets over as an entertainer. I really think as an entertainer, that's what gets people over. So
where do you see the Booger Brothers being 2 years from now or 5 years from now? Did I say it right? Booger?
Booger.
Okay.
It's not Booger.
They
said Booger on the radio.
What that double O kind of throws about?
I know.
Now I've heard a number of radio DJs that didn't know how they say it. They love it, but they don't know how to say it.
Booger Bro. I'm hoping we're still picking songs, and there's a couple of originals I got that I'd love these guys to really look at hard.
You right too?
Yeah.
Okay, no, we hadn't covered that. Tell me.
Well, I've got a few out there. There's a few on the Cream of Soul record that I wrote, and they could be redone.
You said you had an album that was all originals, but you didn't tell me that you wrote part of them.
We wrote most of them together, but I did write a couple of them. So, I'd love to take some of those songs and kind of redo them and put a fresh spin to it, because I think they both got some real good feel for the beach music circuit. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
One of the things I've noticed, and we had this discussion in another one of the podcast, but what was done 20 years ago and what's being done now, you could take the same song, but now it's got more horns in it, more sax, more.
Yeah.
As a whole, the songs, you take one from 2000 and redo it now, you better add horns.
Well, we had horns on the Cream of Soul record, 95. We had full horns.
I ain't heard that. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. So, the problem there is we were known as a cover band, so it was hard to, people come up and buy your CD and say, "Does this have Brown Eyed Girl on it?"
Oh, okay.
No, not quite. And we did all the songs live. We tried to incorporate them in our set, but it was a hard changeover, at that time.
Okay, so you were known as a cover band, but you did an album that was all totally original.
All original. We put one out. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. There's
probably still about 500 or 600 of those CDs laying around.
I'm gonna get me a copy of that somewhere.
I'll get you one,
and I'll look forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what you expect to do now. You're, like I said again, managing partner at East Coast. Now, right. About how many bands are you booking these days? What are you working with?
Well, our company's got 150 exclusive acts.
Wow.
We're from Philadelphia all the way down to South Florida to Nashville. We got 13 offices.
Okay.
We have 150 exclusive acts. We've got about 19 from the Raleigh office.
Well, that's good.
Now I book any of our bands, and we work off our exclusive roster. It's just what we do.
So if you run across somebody that's maybe with the Charlotte office, but you need them in Raleigh, you can book them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. But we got our core bands that we work all the time. Liquid Pleasure being an icon of a band. That band's been around since 1966.
Well, you're going to have to send me their schedule. I need to listen to them somewhere.
Yeah, you should get Kenny to do this. He's an icon. He's a legend. Kenny Man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so
where are they out of?
Chapel Hill.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's one of our big ticket bands. And a lot of our bands have gotten into like a Sleeping Beauty. It's a 12, 13 piece, full front line 2 females, 2 male singers, full horn section, you know.
Oh, okay, like Tower of Power.
Big show bands.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and so that's kind of what we've kind of morphed into, is really the high-end wedding market, private party market. That's kind of what we market to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's been good to me, man.
It has. Well, you got a great story of and I know you're hiding some things from me. Okay.
Probably for the good.
Tell me a story that you normally wouldn't tell about being out on the road or booking on the road. What's your favorite story to tell? Something that happened. Now we're on podcast. We're not live radio, so we can tell the story.
This, but we were coming. So at one time in Cream of Soul, we had a really nice custom van, and we pulled a 14-foot trailer.
Yeah.
So we had back in the 90s, we had a van with a TV in it. I mean, it was a black and white TV. That was a big deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One of those nice Chevy custom vans with the captain seats, and the guys in the van got to where they were carrying guns. They loved carrying handguns. They were concealed carriers or whatever.
And this was when now?
Huh?
This was about when? About year-wise, maybe
early 90s.
Okay.
I never was into guns. I just never was. It's not my thing, but it's not for everybody. And we were riding out. The thing was, they'd ride down the road and see who could take them apart and put them back together the fastest. That kind of stuff happens, and you know. And so
I guess you got to do something, kill time on the road, don't you?
We were coming out of West Virginia one night, and in the mountains, and pulled over to use the bathroom. We were in the middle of the mountains at 3:00 in the morning, nothing around. Next thing I know, these guys start firing off guns.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, we're going to get arrested. We need to get out of here. I got these idiots in the van.
Get back in the van and go.
The van man, the leader, and I'm thinking to myself, what are these fools doing? And they laughed all the way home. They were shooting in the woods.
Oh.
I mean, I could tell you a million stories. Some of them probably don't want to hear on the podcast, but
I'm sure you got some good ones here.
Boy, one of the highlights, which was really kind of cool, in 1989, Cream of Soul opened up for B.B. King at the Palladium in Myrtle Beach. It was a club down in Myrtle Beach called the Palladium. We used to play the After Deck 2001, Holiday Inn North, Coquina Club in Myrtle Beach. We played that whole circuit, like all the beach bands did. Yep, we weren't a beach band, And we opened up for B.B. King. One of the greatest experiences ever. He took us on his tour bus. In 1989, getting on a tour bus was a big deal. You know what I mean? It was like we were, and he signed guitars for us and all that. And I think we played a 45-minute opener, and he got up on stage, and the first thing he said to the audience, he said, "My only regret tonight is that Cream of Soul didn't get to play longer." And I just thought that was one of the coolest things.
Coming from
the man.
That's quite a compliment.
Yeah, that was quite a story. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, would you believe our time is up? It's amazing how fast it does. It flies by.
I want to thank you for including me, because I don't feel worthy to be included.
Well,
I really don't. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, but I thank you for
that's the humble man speaking that I referred to a while ago. But there's no way I would do this without including.
Well, I appreciate it.
And I just thank you for taking the time and being here.
Well,
I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to hear who you are. This is going to be, let me tell you, it's going to be a good one. People are going to love it. I can tell you from my experience, and it's I'll be promoting it because, hey, this is the guy you better be watching. This band's going on, you better be watching.
Thank you. We've got a few more studio things already in order.
Yeah.
But the way these songs take off down here, it takes a while sometimes. Yeah. Some of them, it takes a while to get up, build them up.
Ken Law kept saying that he loves you guys. Jay Ken Law does. He absolutely loves it. And he, every week he'd say, and y'all need to give this song some points. Y'all need to give it some points.
Yeah.
And so eventually the people started hearing it. They started giving it points. And next thing you know, I think it was number 9 today. It's been in the top 10.
It got to 3.
It got to 3.
It did. Crazy. But, and it's just mind blowing that you kind of like the Steely Dan of beach music, because it's really a studio project right now, yet with real icons in the business, real legends.
Well, I'm going to say this. If you're not an icon by now, you will be.
Oh, you're too kind.
I think you already are. But if you don't agree with that, then I'm going to make a prediction. You will be an icon. Because people are going to love what the Booker Brothers do.
That means you're old when people call you all icons. But anyway.
No, it doesn't mean
I appreciate the compliment.
That just means you're good at what you're doing, brother.
Well, I appreciate it.
Folks, it's absolutely been an honor today having Mr. Barry Herndon here. Now, if you want to hear this, you go to surfsidestories.com, click on it while you're driving. You can listen to Spotify and listen to the podcast. You can go to YouTube, put in Surfside Stories, go to our page, and when you do, hit subscribe, and you can see all 29 of our podcasts, or 30 we've got so far. You can go to Roku, Beach Music Live TV, and you can watch it. They put a new one up every Friday on there, and now we're included in Explore NMB. So we've got a lot of sites, and we're going to be adding more. As long as I can get people this great to come into the studio and tell us their life, that's what people want to hear. Thank you again. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for having me.
See you next week.